Yep, here we are again. 2 weeks in a row. Go ahead. What episode?
100, but I think we're just at like maybe 100 now.
No, I do know the
I
episode.
didn't
I was just
know.
testing to see if you knew the episode. It's episode
Really?
53.
Well,
Yeah. So last week was officially we've done a year of episodes. 52 week, right?
yes,
Is
it's
that it?
52 weeks of the year, so that would be correct. But that's
Yeah.
pretty incredible. We will have to do something special for episode 100 because 52 is awesome, but
Yeah.
episode 100 is the big one. So
I know. Yeah, I did some Fortnite streaming on another guy's stream earlier today, so that was fun.
nice. Who was it? Let's
And
shout him out.
getting ready. Eric Berry, Trekkie B47. He's off the Ranger Command
Nice.
Power Hour podcast. We've been hanging a lot and playing. Jumped in with him, and we had a Vic Royale to end his stream. It was super fun. And then another guy who plays with us, Chris Long. He has like a toy review, YouTube, Long's Toys. So yeah, it was fun hanging out with those guys today, this morning, or this earlier at lunch.
Did you guys win just one time, or did you win a couple times?
Well, I jumped on for the last round, but they won the round before with another guy who was on playing with them, and then they switched. He had to go, and I came in, and then we won another one. So yeah, it was cool. It's a nice little couple win in a row for them, and then like I jumped in, and it was a super fun round. Yeah, it was awesome because we like.
Beautiful.
So we were like we landed in like the farm area, and then like the storm kind of formed around us up is to where we could move towards the high ground, and so we got towards this hill, and we built up onto this building that was there. And so we had the high ground on everybody coming up the hill, and we could see everybody, all the different teams that were dude out and then coming up towards us, and then we popped like 4 teams in a row to end the game. It was so much fun.
Season dropped yet?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
So tonight, actually, I'll probably be on stream maybe with them again, playing. Because we're gonna play until it shuts off, until it kicks everybody out at midnight or 1:00 tonight. So last little bit of season 7 moving into season 8, or no, season 6 moving into season 7. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I guess they're doing some sort of alien type theme for next season, correct?
Yeah. Apparently, there's going to be some cool crossovers with the series. Like, of course, Marvel's pumping Loki right now, so Loki's going to be one of the Battle Pass characters. And depending on, we don't know really what's going on, but they've teased Superman, they've teased a Rick and Morty crossover. So like, it's totally alien invasion theme, and like they've started the rollout a little bit like this week with like having abductions in the game where you get abducted to like their side of the map. And so that's going to be kind of a feature. And then all the primal weapons, probably the bow, everything's going away in this one. And there's going to have a whole new weapon set. So that'll be pretty cool. And this is the biggest season they've teased. I was reading online. So something big's going to happen this season. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fun. I liked the dinosaur and primal season.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the guns. Like the guns did not feel very good at all.
Weapons.
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, the bow is pretty sick, but besides that, like unless you get like a really nice upgraded bow, it's just not. I didn't think the guns played super well. But that's if you don't like it, just wait a little bit and there's new season and you'll like something different. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I'm definitely glad to see the primal weapons go. It'll be interesting to see what they do, like if they're doing like in a laser direction or something like that, something like real spacey, type stuff. So
for sure. Like I just imagine like a Jimmy Neutron blaster or something.
Oh God. If we get Jimmy Neutron in the game, here we go. Just kidding.
Yeah. I want to know where they're going to bring in the Mistborn stuff too, because I know they obviously said that they're going to do it in the future, but I don't know if it's going to be this season.
Yeah, so I looked into that, and they actually had the characters on the item shop. They had like a character theme set on the item shop, and that was the crossover. So it's not necessarily in-game content, but yeah, it was in the item shop. And I confirmed that too after we talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just missed it. I would have. I don't like buying that many characters.
Yeah.
I don't go like skin crazy, but I would have done that because that's just one of my favorite series. It's great.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
But either way, it'll be nice I mean, if there's a Rick and Morty skin, like, man, talk about take my
Yeah,
money.
for sure. There's gonna be
Yeah.
something to do with that because they teased that in the tease for today, they were teasing a Rick and Morty crossover, so that's cool.
Have you ever seen that show before?
I've watched it a little bit, not too
Okay.
much though. Yeah, not a huge
Yeah.
fan.
It's a, I don't know if you would personally would like it, but it's a good one. Like, it's kinda like a just a new style, man, it's like, it's an adult cartoon, but it's like a
Yeah,
Family Guy mixed with, like,
gotcha.
South Park mixed with just, like, yeah, absurdity. It's really good, but
Yeah, that's cool.
it's, I don't know if you'd be into it or not.
Yeah, yeah, I've watched a little bit of it, and it's kinda like with Aaron sometimes, and it's kinda like, "Oh, whatever, it's funny for the time," but it's I don't, like, religiously watch it, you know? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Well, something that I'm sure we'll both religiously watch is that's coming out, you said tomorrow, I think we confirmed, was Loki.
Starting Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So
Sorry,
this
this is
pod's gonna drop on Wednesday, so by the time you're listening to this, you'll be watching Loki.
yeah. So, I think, this is obvious besides WandaVision, this would be the other, like, branch into the Marvel Universe through a series show rather than movie, correct?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. No, it's gonna be, it's gonna be interesting because it, like, directly ties into the events of what happened in Endgame,
Mhm.
one of the last big Marvel movies, so it's like him transporting to the time police or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how it's framed, but Owen Wilson's one of the main characters in the movie and, or in the show, so it'll be interesting. I think it's only 6 parts, right?
I believe
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I like Tom Hiddleston and I like Loki, so I don't know. I have good hopes for it, but I don't have high hopes just because I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than it just be kinda garbage and then wishing it was better. So, we'll see.
Yeah, do you think it'll set up anything to do with the next Thor movie or anything in the MCU? Do you think it's gonna kinda predict sort of the future of what's gonna happen?
I'm not sure. This is purely speculation because I know that there's articles on that or how it's going to be set up, like with the Phase 4. But I would imagine that it is going to cross over in some way.
Yeah,
But if it doesn't, and it's just his side story, that would be fine too. But Marvel likes to. I don't think they've done anything that's standalone. So just knowing that immediately, and that we're in what Phase
yeah,
4 of the Marvel timeline, I would imagine that it connects somewhere because I think they just didn't want Loki to
yeah.
die. Like they purposefully wrote him back in because he's a character that I think obviously Tom Hiddleston wanted to play more of, and then the fans wanted to see more of too. And I
Yeah,
agree. I'm happy to see him come back.
yeah, I almost think this is his kinda, like, last song, you know, with the
Yeah,
like, whatever it's gonna set up, I think I kind of believe that they're moving on or he's moving on. Tom Hiddleston himself wants to move on from the role, kinda like Chris Hemsworth is, and yeah, I
yeah,
just wonder if this'll be his last appearance in Marvel shows, kinda go out with a bang and maybe set up something else big, you know?
yeah. It seems like they're all the big characters are kind of just ready to because they've been
Yeah,
doing it for what 10 years now. Like Tony, like Stark, obviously
Robert Downey.
Robert Downey, and then Thor, and all of them. Like they've been in the MCU for so long and playing one character that I think they're all just like they really like those characters. Like no one has a bad. It seems like had a bad experience playing in Marvel movies, but they're ready to kind of
Yeah,
move on. And it seems like to me that the network, the studio wants to pretty much like bring in all the female super because there's like Lady Thor is going to be it, and the next Iron Man is going to be a girl. So they're just like they kind of want to shift to like this universe of all like almost mainly girl superheroes, which is cool too. So
yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes because yeah, like you said, they're totally setting up a whole new plane of characters, and I think that, like, Sony is either gonna take back Spider-Man or whatever, like, is gonna and have for their universe, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that whole situation too because, you know, Marvel doesn't have exclusive rights to Spider-Man, Sony does, so they have to
yeah,
really work out a huge deal, and now Sony's building their own Spider-Man universe,
hmm
with all these characters and
with Venom,
yeah, Venom and all that, um, and Morbius and things like that. So, and
yeah,
there's rumors that Tom Holland's gonna make a cameo in one of those movies coming up and all that kind of stuff.
hmm
So, yeah, I'm this next like year of Marvel is gonna be really interesting to see it's either going to be something like I'm really like down with, or it's like, okay, I'll watch the movies, but I'm not going to be like invested so far, you know?
Yeah, I think that as of right now, Marvel may have hit its like peak with Endgame and the last two Avengers movies. Like I'm not like for instance, WandaVision was really good. Like we all liked
Yeah.
WandaVision and thought it was a great show. But I don't know if like again, it could be going and here's like Thor Love and Thunder just got finished. So that one's gonna be coming out. Next Guardians is gonna be out. So I mean, obviously the next phase has potential, but I feel like we've definitely like hit a peak with the last two
Yeah.
Avengers movies, and then from there, because two and it's like here's a good example of Black Panther. Obviously, the actor
Yeah.
died, which was unfortunate, and then his what is it, his sister is taking on the role of the next Black Panther, which could be really cool. But it's still like it seems like there was so much finality, like Tony's,
Yeah.
Robert Downey leaving and Tony Stark dying. Like there's so much finality in that phase. I know they're continuing with the same like universe, but I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. But to me, this might be good, but not as good as the
Yeah.
last phase.
Yeah, and, they can't continue to, like, the aftermath of Endgame and, Infinity War has been really interesting in these shows and how it's really set up the new Captain America and WandaVision, and it's really left me hanging on, and how Spider-Man kinda took the second Spider-Man movie took its take on that and all that, so, um, but they can only do that for so long, so they're gonna have to start the next arc, which it might be Secret Wars or, like, whatever, and they're not going to have a lot of these characters to pull from
Mhm.
anymore. The real Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, so they're going to be really rewriting history in a way to some of these arcs that they might be looking into doing. So
Yeah, and did you hear that be by like an entirely new um director as well? And he
Raimi is doing it, right? Sam Raimi.
who did the first one? Was it Sam Raimi?
No, it wasn't. But yeah, he has taken on because
He's taking it on.
there's a lot of speculation that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man won't appear in the Spider-Man movie, but will actually appear in Doctor Strange because he's such good pals with Sam Raimi
R-
because he did the first Spider-Man movies.
Right, exactly. So it's because they're like switching out directors and they're like I said, they're switching out actors. They're basically what it reminds me of is like whenever there's like a series of comics that like have run its course and like that is kind of like for instance, like the Infinity
Yeah,
Wars has ended. And then now it's like who knows? It could be Secret Wars. There's something else in another
yeah,
like in the block of like comics. And then that phase is what we're going into. It's not that it's gonna be bad, but it'll be so different that like we may like it more or less. I'm not exactly sure. I'm
yeah,
sure if Marvel's doing it, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be beautiful. But will it be like I said? I just don't know if I'm going to say, man, this was as good or this was as entertaining as the last phase. I
yeah,
don't know, but because when they start, I mean, they're switching a lot of like major key components, actors, directors, and everything else. It could be incredible, but I don't know. We'll
yeah,
have to just wait and see.
yeah.
I haven't been really disappointed thus
No,
far.
exactly. Like anything they make, I'm gonna watch and probably enjoy. It's just will I enjoy it as much as the first arc, But also, like, we never know.
It's gonna
So
be
it's
hard.
almost like a sequel to another movie, Like it's like this whole movie of
Yeah.
like 40 movies they have turn, and then now we're going to the sequel of that movie. So,
Right.
but
Right.
anyway, it's fun and it's always like we both love going to the movies and enjoying that stuff. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and it kind of relates in that way, like you were talking about with comics. Like Power Rangers did that for their first, with their first
Mhm.
comic series, Mighty Morphin. It hit. They did so many good issues. And then it had their first big arc, which was Shattered Grid, which was like the end game of the Power Rangers universe. And then that ended, and they brought in a new writer and all this kind of stuff, and it literally fell off the radar for me. Even though that arc was decent, it turned it into like it went and had some revelations for the next part of the series. It literally was, I mean, there was
Mhm.
no way to live up to what had just happened to the Power Ranger universe. And now they're going again and they're
Right.
getting going. It looks like they're building up some new arcs, but like it's all changed forever. So, a lot of times that happens with media and entertainment. And, that's just kind of came to my mind with this certain thing because that definitely happened. And I really hope it doesn't go that direction because it was pretty bad for like 20 issues, like a year there or two. So
Yeah.
anyway,
But I would not be surprised if we watch this next this next run of movies and characters and it's good, but it's we're just going like, oh
I
man,
miss
like it's
Downey.
good, but it's not. I know. I miss Downey. I miss this. Like, I miss this director and the way that he did it. I just was super in tune with it. And then they do another refresh, and then the refresh after that is
Yeah,
playing into the fans again. Because you know what I'm saying? You know how like sometimes movies and comics they'll play into whatever is maybe
yeah,
popular at the time or what they like the writers want, but then like eventually they come back to what the fans want. And to me, like this last phase of or the last phase of Marvel before this kind of new thing is coming on
yeah.
has played into the fans. And then this next one, maybe, I don't know, but they may be playing it to like what Hollywood wants instead of what like we really want. I don't really know, but they could.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see.
We'll
And
see.
like, I really hope that this Black Widow movie sets up a revelation of something in the future past, because this movie takes place after Civil War happened. So this is what happened to Natasha after that, but before Infinity
Oh,
War. So
okay.
yeah, it's that break of time in there. So it's not like way back in the past. So there's something that could happen like with Taskmaster or something like that if they're going to carry him on into the next phase or even the next. It'd be cool to see Taskmaster be like one of the villains in the next Captain America movie because they announced Captain America 4 with Sam Wilson is going
Mm,
to be, that's going to happen. So it's going to be interesting to see what that movie sets up to since it was so tied closely to those Winter Soldier. She was always in all those movies and all that stuff. So I, you
yeah.
know, I just hope it doesn't disappoint because it's been a movie that kind of got lost in the shuffle too with Black Widow. I know
Mhm.
we're bouncing all over the place, but like that's one of those that like it was like so hyped for last year and then now it's this year. It's like it's been a year later. You couldn't have just put it on Disney Plus through through COVID and all
Pandemic.
that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
just let us have that at least. And now it's like, I'm going to go see it, but am I as hyped for it? But I feel like I need
Yeah.
to be as hyped for it because I feel like it's going to do something. I don't think they would make a movie just to like put it to bed, like a one off, that doesn't mean anything to their overarching story.
I agree. And if you're gonna wait that long for a movie to go into theaters, which leads me to like a little segue here, is it better not disappoint? Because if we waited that long and you just waited for like something mediocre
Right.
and you didn't put it on Disney Plus, like come on, like
Yeah.
why you? But the movie that I saw, and I know you've seen as well, so we can kind of talk about it, and without spoilers, is that did not disappoint. Is Quiet Place 2 because this exact time last year, well, it was actually earlier when the pandemic first started, Quiet Place 2 was set to release. And they said, nope, this movie is good enough where we are just going to
Yeah.
wait it out. And thank goodness they did
Yeah.
because I was so happy to see it in the theater. Besides the fact that I literally almost had to, I scared some children because they were talking. By children, I mean
Yeah.
teenagers, but I made them get up and leave the theater.
Wow. Dang,
That's how
dude.
bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were those people? No,
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
no, 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 no. I mean, I didn't, I didn't, I wasn't like going like upset, but this, like A Quiet Place 2, if anyone is talking or making noise during that movie, they should be removed from the
I
theater.
agree.
Like, that's all it is. It's not like, I don't care if like someone's eating popcorn or like just drinking a drink, but they were talking out loud and laughing and giggling about whatever, they're just
Yeah.
teenagers, so, which is fine. But I literally, so like they did it a couple times. I'm like, maybe this guy talk about something, whatever, like just, but after this is a
Yeah.
quiet movie and everything matters. They started talking. I was like, "Shut up!" Shh. I did one of those shh, so loud, and then I just looked back at him and stared. It was like,
Don't look
"Don't
at
you
me.
dare! Don't you're not going to ruin this." Yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
your first movie in
Yeah.
a year. I'm like, "You're not going to ruin this. This is," and it was so good already. And they literally started. You could hear them, and then they got up and left. And I said,
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah.
"Yeah, I was so
Yeah.
happy."
I
But
don't know. Maybe like it's just going back to theaters and stuff. Teenagers are like just wanting to act wild because like we've had that a little bit of that problem in our town with that, where the teenagers are back at the movie theaters and people are calling cops on them and stuff. It's just Crazy. But I saw it in a movie with like
Yeah,
two
I
other
just
people, and that was it because we live in such a small town and we go at like matinee times. So it was like me and my wife and two
oh,
other people in the whole theater.
I purposefully go during matinee,
Yeah.
like it was a Wednesday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon because number one, got to get that $5 movie ticket. But number two is I like to go when there's not that many
Yeah.
people because of that reason. Because I just want to enjoy like a movie, with hopefully people who just want to watch the movie. They're not like out just, oh, it's a Friday. Let's just see a
Yeah.
movie and talk through it. So, and I've had that I've also had that happen, not obviously last year because we didn't see a movie last year, but the year before is where people started talking in the movie. And at this point, I'm just like, no, this isn't gonna happen. You're not gonna ruin my movie. So I just immediately start getting like if someone's got to talk or chit chat with their kid a little bit, like understand that. But if you're just blatantly like talking and causing ruckus, like I will just go get the movie, the movie people and just say, hey, like either tell them to be quiet or please kick them out. And I've like consistently got people kicked out now because they'll because the movie people come in and they stand and they say, "Hey guys, if you don't be quiet, you're gonna have
Yeah.
to like leave." And then they give them a warning, and then they come back in and they'll just kind of sit there like by the stairs and they start like jabbering and
Yeah.
people are mad, just like
Yeah.
myself, and then they'll get kicked out. And I'm like, thank goodness.
Yeah. Anyway, so you like the movie?
Sorry, I just went on a rant about these stupid teenagers.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. I feel you. I'm like, and I only go
Oh.
at times where it's just like me and
I
old
know,
people.
dude. I'm just we become. I no. The thing is, we're both movie fans. It has nothing to do with like young or old. It's just like
Yeah.
fans. It has nothing to do with like young or old. It's just like if you are there to see a movie, you know, just
Yeah.
watch it. Like, come on, man.
Also, just being
But
back in the theater, like being able to see a movie theatrically again, and
appreciate what we have here.
exactly. We lost
Yeah,
it for so long, it felt like.
I know, man. But yeah, I thought it was a plus. Absolutely enjoyed it. It was a very few times do you see a sequel and like it as much as the first one, and I thought it was really great. Um, the only thing that was bad about it is I just want more now, which
Yeah,
they stay spoilers like 1, 2, 3. They are setting it up for more of the world, which is
yeah.
great because it's fantastic. Just
Yeah,
loved it.
that's not a spoiler. The only thing is John Krasinski is out on the third one. He's gonna write it, but as far as production and, directing, he's not gonna do it. He didn't wanna do this
Yeah,
one, but it was a contract thing that he had to end up doing it. Like, if they optioned it for a sequel, then he would have had to do it, based on the initial contract, but he was like, "I didn't wanna do this one."
which is so
Yeah,
crazy because I don't know why you'd want to do the first one. Do such a good job at it.
yeah,
Everyone loves it, and then you not want to just give the fans more what they want and what like obviously he started in the last one, and then his wife is one of the main characters in this one. Like I don't know, it just seems strange that he would be like, nah, I don't want to do anymore. It's like wait, this is a beloved thing.
now I think I read his reasoning on that is he only wanted to make 1 movie. He only wanted to make the first one because he thought it was just a work of art for what it was. And then it did so well that, whoever owns the company was like, "Okay, we're gonna option this for a sequel." And then it was like he was already contracted to have to do that one too.
Yeah.
He's gonna write the third one, but he's out on the spinoff and the sequel or the threequel trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but at the same time it's like now you've done a second
Yeah.
one. Like, why would you and you're gonna write it, why are you gonna give it to another director to possibly
Yeah.
ruin? Like, just you wrote the 3rd one, just make it even if you didn't do the offshoot, if you could just finish the sequel I'm sorry, the trilogy, and just end the
Yeah.
story, right? Like, he could do that, but, these guys, they just can't get ahead of or they can't get out of
Yeah.
their own way, I
I
mean.
but as far as the movie itself, yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm glad you liked it because I really liked the, beginning of the movie. I like and I don't know if you don't like anything spoilers right now, but fast forward 15 seconds, but I really like the fact they didn't bring John Krasinski back. He didn't bring his character back. I like the focus on him in the
Yeah,
beginning of telling, like, a little bit of a prequel of, like, how this all came to be, and I thought that whole scene
yeah,
was beautifully done in about a 15-minute increment of like, oh, I get it now, like light bulbs. This is how this came to be, filling
Yeah,
in a little bit more on the story since they are building the world. You know, it was a necessity there. If they would have just made
yeah.
the first movie, I would have been fine with that, not knowing about what happened and all that. But now I'm like, okay, they're blowing this up. I want to see how this came to be. So I thought it was done really beautifully in that 15-minute increment of just showing how this all began and then how wretched these creatures were that just slayed the world, instantly,
I completely agree, and like not flash forward, but roll back in time and kind of show a little tidbit of that. It made that the movie exceptionally better to me because just that tiny bit of
Yeah.
knowing where the monsters came from and kind of giving them like just a little bit of backstory and how like they set it up and everything. I'm glad they did that, but um,
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't anymore either because and them setting up
Yeah.
like what happened at the end of the second movie and who could potentially basically be the main roles for the third one is really good
Hmm.
because they potentially killed off some characters or hurt basically and then they made like the two other characters amp up their time where and you like what I
Oh
like
yeah.
about that movie too is there's no like I don't dislike any of the characters like one
Yeah. No.
and one of them like so I don't think this is a spoiler. I don't want to try to mess this up. The young boy, which basically you kind of don't like the first two, like the majority of the
Yeah.
first two movies. At the you basically come to like understand him a little better, and then you're like, oh, he's getting there. Like you kind of you're rooting for him at the very end,
Oh yeah.
which is really nice.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. They've made for the few characters they've done enough to develop each one of them now to
Yeah,
like where you feel them. Even who's the guy in the movie? He plays Scarecrow in Batman Begins. He's in that movie Red Eye. What's his
yeah,
name?
yeah. His name's God.
But the way
Uh,
they introduced him, I love how that whole thing was basically John Krasinski focused in the beginning, but they introduced him so slyly and so well that like
Cillian Murphy,
Cillian Murphy, that's right. Cillian.
Killian Murphy. Is it
Killian.
Cillian or
I
Killian?
think it's Cillian. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah, anyway,
yeah,
so he the way they introduce his character and like you find out towards the end of the movie just how like messed up he is, with the whole thing and the pictures and all that. So um, and how he was trying to do the right thing, but he's like been so crazed and fighting against himself, the emotional battle he's having, the emotional battle the daughter's having, just everything went so well in such like it's such a different movie to be so sci-fi at the same time. You wouldn't expect a movie like this to be so sci-fi, and it's done so like it's almost like the hipster sci-fi movies, because it's like it's everything's
kind of,
made
yeah,
so cool and like hip and done like in a different manner, kind of like that movie Get Out was, but like with sci-fi, kind of just like a thriller horror movie. Yeah.
that's just very
Anyway.
yeah, yeah. They you know what I liked about it is they the style they did it in is almost because it was almost shot like it wasn't shaky, but it was kinda shot, like, just very, like, from the perspective of a person, like a video camera, but it wasn't shaky like a Cloverfield was, and it was still yeah, but it and they didn't and because it was so silent, like, the actors, the expression, and the world, like, spoke so much, and yet they showed so little, which is so awesome because that means like they chose the correct actors and it was shot like really, really nice. Um, and the fact that within basically it kind of shows you what I thought was cool within 1 year or a year and a half of the world going disarray, that like the people who either survived were so like mentally messed up or they were just like the scourge who like could have just kind of and they
Yeah.
got like jacked up from it, and we kind of got like a little glimpse of that in the second movie, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, creepy people, like
Yeah.
this is what
Yeah.
happens when the world goes astray is like people's minds because even Killian Murphy's character, like he obviously was struggling, but he was still like sane. But these other
Yeah.
guys, and that's what he said, like, you don't know what people have become like in the movie. And you're just like, oh, what do you mean? And then you get a glimpse of it and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, I wonder if one of these like spin-offs or whatnot. is gonna be like a TV show, like a limited series on Amazon or something like that, you know? Um, I
I'd be
wonder if
fine
they're
with that.
gonna go that direction if they're trying to world build the thing, just because media is so cross-platform now, you know? It's all translates from theater to streaming service to whatever, you know? M so I just wonder if they're gonna go that direction with it, and, I would be okay with it, but I'm also like, I just don't want them to they've done so well so far, I don't want them to screw it up, so I'm just like
Don't ruin it.
I'm like, just holding on for this movie, and, you know, it was definitely a fun watch, and it was just like you said, incredibly quiet until it wasn't, you know? And
Mhm.
that's another thing that made the movie so exciting and the feeling of watching it just so good, like the first one, you know?
Yeah, it was I think it was beautifully done. It was one of the best movies I've seen in quite a while, and I was definitely it was, highly anticipated for me because the first one was so good, but it lived up to it and probably exceeded my expectations, even so. And now that I know that they are gonna, like, kinda world build it a little bit, I'm just more excited for whatever comes next. The only thing obviously is sad, is I just, Krasinski, man, just give us you you have what we
Yeah.
want, just give it to
He's
us.
like
Like, just direct it, just go
he's
all
like, "No, I'm
in.
gonna go be Mr. Fantastic in the Marvel Universe," which I'd be okay with, yeah.
I know, man. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm trying to think what he's done that I haven't enjoyed, and it's really nothing. So, I'm fine with whatever he does.
Like, I'm not even an Office fan, but I respect his work there, you know, like, anything he's done, the movies he's been in. My wife I didn't watch this show, but my wife watched Jack
Jack
Ryan
Ryan.
and said he was just amazing in that, you know, so it's just one of those things, you know?
Yeah, it was I watched the first at least the first whole season, on, Amazon Prime, and it was very good, and he was excellent. So,
Nice.
I think that show got, like, some awards and stuff.
Yeah, it
It's real
did,
good.
yeah. Yeah, anyway,
Cool.
but that I'm really glad you liked it, and I can't like, I want Aaron to watch him too. He didn't get a chance to watch it this week, the first one, but he's going to. I'm gonna make him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to his house one night and just be like, "Hey, we're watching this."
good, do it, yeah. Hopefully, he'll be back with us, next week, or actually, I may
Yeah.
not be with us next week because I'm gonna be out of town, but,
Yeah, we'll do that. Well, me and him will do it next week, and
cool.
then we'll get back to it. But yeah, this has been fun. Yeah, so one thing we wanted to do kinda on this show because, like, E3 is coming, and it's actually the week before like, next week, right?
Yeah, mhm.
Starting next week. So, like, yeah, we wanted to kinda give a little bit of an E3 preview, kinda talk about what we're excited about, um, specifically in some different things. So, GameSpot put out some articles that, you know, just talked about the games that are confirmed. And so, just looking at the PC games, what is there anything in there that you're looking at that's like, oh, that might be cool to see, or like you want to kind of preview or whatnot?
Yeah, I'm just kinda, no, I didn't get a super good, look, but I probably what I know that other people are gonna be, um what is this? Yeah, so one of them that I know that a lot of people are looking at and has been talked about is Chernobyl Light?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people been into that, but overall, I mean, this list is actually long
Yeah, for PC, it's
for
wild.
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was actually gonna ask you, do you know anything about this thing, the Lightbringer for
No, I
PC?
don't. Yeah, I haven't heard about it.
Okay, um, so I'm not sure if this is a spinoff from the Lightbringer, no, it's not. Okay, that answers my question. Yeah, anyway, nothing from PC, like, I'm literally just looking at this list that's, like, standing out, but there's a ton of, I'm sure, good games. I don't know a lot of them.
Yeah, I think, the Bethesda, whatever's coming there, I don't see it on this list, but, that new game coming
They're
from
doing
them, the
mhm.
Starfield or something like that, is that what it is? Or I don't know.
Yeah, they're doing, I think, 2 new ones, and they're actually talking about doing, that they are gonna be previewing a new Elder Scrolls.
Oh, yeah, that'd
So
be cool.
that would be the big one that hopefully I mean, I don't think it's confirmed, but there's speculation that that's gonna be coming,
Skyrim
which is
coming to Amazon Alexa.
I know, dude.
That was so
That game
funny.
has been
That
that
commercial
game
they
has
did.
been Oh, I know. That game has but it's funny because it's so true because 'cause they've rewatched that game so many
Oh,
times,
yeah.
They're like Skyrim for iPhone, Skyrim for Switch, Skyrim for PS4 VR. It's like, oh, how much? Could you just make a new one already?
Yeah. Yeah, I see it actually here on the Xbox list that Starfield is what is the one of the Bethesda games that's gonna be called, but yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what they have in store for a new Elder Scrolls, just really next gen, if it's gonna be more of like the next Skyrim, kinda thing, and,
Sure.
because obviously we both played that game. You've played it way more than I have, but it's just so good, like in every
Mm,
facet, and like also like with them bringing Skyrim into VR. I'm excited to see if they have any announcements where it comes to this new Starfield game or the next Elder Scrolls as far as like VR at launch, And we know that PlayStation is
sure.
going to be talking about their VR2 headset, which is going to be wireless and all these great functions for PS5. So it'd be cool if we got some different teases like that. But I'm not. I'm just kind of speculating. I'm not saying that's going to happen though.
Yeah, I think probably just going down the most anticipated Xbox game, which will be an exclusive, is Halo, because
Yeah.
it
Oh
was
yeah.
supposed to drop on launch,
That
and
make me.
they're
That might make me want to buy an Xbox for that game. Like
yeah.
seriously, because it looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, at first, it's so funny because at first, like, there was such hype, and then they had like a actual playthrough where it was like they were saying, "Oh, it's ready," and then everyone's like, "This looks like a really good like Xbox One game," and then they're like, "Oh no, we're gonna redo it, and it's gonna look way better," and
Yeah.
because I think the thing about all those Halo games is we know Halo like how it plays, and it's pretty much like it's great, people who like to play Halo multiplayer, like it plays a very certain way, and that's okay. Like we want that, but we just want like the graphics to be next gen and
Right.
the world to be next gen. And when they showed it, it was like next gen a
Yeah.
little bit, but it wasn't like absolutely gorgeous like these other games are. So I think they were like, it's not
Yeah.
done. It's okay. Like we're gonna make it look
Back
good.
to
It's like almost like
formula.
a Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, where they're just like, we have this game that's basically finished and we could have dropped it, but the fans want it to be
Yeah.
gorgeous and like Unreal 5 engine type deal. So I think they're just doing the
Yeah.
graphics,
Yeah. I think
which
it
I'm
looks
fine with.
awesome though. So yeah, that's definitely probably the most anticipated that's confirmed. Looking at the PlayStation list, to me, nothing really jumps out. A lot of the same games that are coming out, like Far Cry 6 and things like that, that are coming out on all the other
Yeah,
platforms too. I guess they're gonna do like some more content for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I haven't played that, but Aaron, really
I
like
haven't
that. But I
either.
guess they're gonna be talking about some sort of expansion for that. I think the main um, PlayStation one, and I'm not sure if they're even going to have a spotlight on this game, but Horizon Zero Dawn, obviously.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So anyway, like I'm definitely looking forward to that, and just to watching the gameplay they released over the last couple of weeks looks so good. I think my only bummer
Mhm.
with that game though is that it's going to be backwards compatible for PS4. So there,
Mm,
when they do that, they kind of like have to make it for both platforms, and it's
uh,
not singular in that. Like Miles Morales is really good, but they basically made it. It's just DLC for the first Spider-Man game with upgraded ray tracing and stuff.
yeah, I also don't like that. If it's next gen, like next gen,
Yeah,
I want them to soak up every piece of
I know.
hardware for that and for it to play like, for instance, like when you're developing a game for PS5, I want it to be like completely cultured to that controller because it's so
Yeah,
much better than the other one. They have so much more ability to do it, and the graphics. Like, don't we get it? Like, you have an audience that we all have PS4s, and you want to sell games on PS4. Listen, just make it for the PS5 and just make everyone buy. I mean, PS5 is already sold out, but just make more people want to buy that
yeah.
system rather than just trying to like cater to both sides.
Yeah, just make the Maddens that are, PS4 compatible. Like these big AAA
Yeah,
games that are your platform only, just put them on
the
just put
multiplayer
them on
games.
the PS5 and make them for that. But, the game's been in development before probably the PlayStation hardware was really finished. So, it's one of those things too. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
go
think
ahead. Sorry.
no, I just said, for all of the game companies, I'm looking forward most to the
Oh yeah.
Nintendo because they have I mean, not because it's like next gen necessarily, but just because Nintendo is so good with exclusives. And as far as like there's speculation about like Breath of the Wild 2, which they already have a little bit of, or they've teased with. Um, Metroid Prime
Yeah.
4, and then hopefully just showing more of what they've already confirmed, which is like Pokemon Legends Arceus, the Diamond and Pearl remakes, Super Mario Golf, which is I think supposed to be out like this
Yeah. It's
next
coming
month,
out
something like
pretty
that.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah, Skyward Sword HD, like they just have a lot of Nintendo has a lot of exclusive stuff that's like it's
Yeah.
primed and ready to like have sequels and things that we really want.
Yeah, I just wonder if they're going to, because we know Switch Pro is coming out at
Right.
some point. They're going to announce it at some point this year. I just wonder if they're going to kind of drop the news on that sometime like this week before E3, or if to try to prime some stuff for E3 and Switch Pro compatibility and things like that, or if they're just going to be like, yeah, here's a little bit. We'll be with you towards the end of the year to show you all the new cool stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, but what I know about Nintendo is they will milk a system until it's like 2 generations of graphics
Behind.
ago,
Yeah,
and they don't care because they just make their
good games.
exclusives are so good and they make incredible games. So knowing that if it doesn't like this Pro announcement doesn't drop at this year's E3 or even like the first half this year, if it's like 2021 winter and then
Yeah,
they're saying like 2023 or 2022 it'll like release the system, I wouldn't be surprised because just for instance, if like let's say they do have Breath of the Wild 2 coming out, Metroid Prime 4, and like Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is definitely 2022 for
yeah,
the Switch regular. Those are three like big enough games where they don't have to do any hardware upgrades because those games are they're art-based games. They're not necessarily graphically intense, but they are good games that people will buy.
yeah.
And like they can continue selling
Oh
Switches. Like
yeah,
they don't have to upgrade it for people to like buy those games and buy the console. So they're never in a hurry. You know, they're just
yeah.
kind of like we make awesome games and they're more art-based. Like they don't need to have next gen. That's Sony and Xbox. Like whatever.
I kind of wonder, like, too, like, I definitely believe there's a Switch Pro coming, but also, like, I'm like,
I do
there's the
too.
thing in the back of my mind that's like, is this just press? Are they just putting this out here to like all press is good press kind of thing? Like all the
Yeah.
speculators and just let it run wild into what it is about, like trending on Twitter, like every Monday it's trending on Twitter, Switch Pro. Like, are they going to drop the announcement? Is there going to be a Nintendo Direct before E3? Is there going to be a Nintendo Direct before Labor Day? Like it's just now we've been in this cycle for a year now of like people speculating about Switch Pro. So I'm like, is this even real? Is this even going to happen?
You know, the craziest thing though is if it was, I mean, of course they will have a next generation console, but if it doesn't happen this year or even next year, like I don't know if that even is like, is it hurting Nintendo just to make
Yeah,
good games that just they play, as long as they play at like 60 FPS, even if it's not like graphically at like 4K or anything, if it's just like really good 1080p, but the art style is fine and it's smooth, like I just don't think Nintendo cares.
yeah.
And why should they? Because we're still gonna buy their games and enjoy them.
I agree. Yeah,
But if they do have like a one that will play like 4K or even 1080p, like 60 every game, not drop frames, I'm gonna buy it. So
oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it
yeah,
anyway.
no
Like
matter what.
whatever it is, I'll buy it. It's at this point. So, yeah. I mean, my Switch has been great. I loved it. The whole, what is it, 4 or 5 years now that it's been out, and the whole thing has been awesome. So like, what is, we've looked at these lists and stuff of what's confirmed, but what would be your wish list of to see this year at E3? Like nothing that you've seen here, read about. Like, what would be your like, oh, this would hit me in the right spot kind of thing?
Yeah, probably just exclusives to because I think that the problem right now, like for instance, like if people are trying to buy an Xbox or PS5, like they should be basing it on exclusives, and the exclusive still haven't really been there. So I think that like just like brand new exclusives that are either like adventure or multiplayer based that just no one's heard of, and they just
Yeah,
drop a massive bomb at E3 and just show some like spectacular gameplay that like you want this console, or even if it's not exclusive, maybe let's say it's a multi-platform like multiplayer game that they're just going to drop and everyone loves it and it's playing like really incredible, just something new and fresh. But I think especially exclusives would be great. um And then but the problem I think that they maybe we won't see that is E3 just hasn't for the past, I don't know, what do you think, 5 years? It's just everyone's going away from E3. E3 is becoming less and less of a relevant conference.
Oh yeah, for sure. I 100% agree with that. I mean, with everybody having their own platform and Twitter and everything been so elevated into the next level, even in this last year, with
Yeah.
you can literally do anything, any announcement from any company, and everybody will eat it up. So why give E3 the platform? Yeah,
Yeah, like it's kind of like one of those things they looked at, I think, or in my opinion, I could be completely, I mean, I'm a moron, so just I'm saying this quote unquote, but they look at Apple and they say, "Wait, Apple just has their own conference and they hype
yep,
their own products up. Why don't we just have a Sony exclusive
right,
conference, which they have, or a Nintendo Direct announcement and just talk about all of our stuff? Like, why are
right,
we getting in the mix where there's a bunch of other companies around us talking about different games, and then so now that they're doing that and they have the platforms to do that, it just makes sense that E3, I wish E3 was big again, by the way. Like, I
yeah,
love this time of the year. When I was 10 years ago, every time E3 came around, I was reading in magazines online like months before E3 dropped, and it
same.
was such a big hype
Oh yeah,
for people, and it created like a hyper competitive environment for Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox especially, and games like live or die by the E3 hype was so much fun. But I think companies just don't need to do that. They're literally they're just following Apple. They're going like, I don't really want to compete with anyone else. I'm just going to make our own thing, hype it up, make it as big as possible, and then there's no like also Sony, there's no competition. It's just like, here's our awesome
yep,
stuff. Like, buy
yep,
from us.
yeah.
And it's got to be
Mhm.
cheaper
Oh yeah.
too, just to do
Yeah,
their
for
own
sure.
thing.
Creating a video rather than getting everybody to this conference and buying all the
Yeah.
publishers have to buy spots in E3 too, and it's not cheap to have a
Yeah.
spot in E3. So especially if you want a stage show. So anyway, like you said, yeah, I know. I remember before, like we could drive back in the day. It was like, oh, I want to go to E3 one day, and it was like every summer there was such a blockbuster announcement, and it was like this whole thing. And especially last year was just the air was deflated out of the balloon, with everything that happened last year anyway. But like especially with E3, it's just not.
Yeah, but even the last couple of years,
Yeah,
like what has really dropped at E3 that
right.
we didn't already know about, or there wasn't like a pre-drop, like where Nintendo would say something like 2 weeks before E3 in their own like Nintendo Direct, and they're like, "Yeah, you'll see it at E3, but whatever, like here it is."
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for my wish list for E3 though, like my wish this would happen. I think will happen is that we'll see more about the PSVR too.
Mm,
I think that's like a big thing for me because like I love my VR. I just hate the wires, and so like they've already announced they're cutting the cord and they have the technology to do it for years now. So like they're gonna make something that's console friendly and right and works for that. So I'm definitely excited about that because I do want to play more of my VR games. And then I think like something that probably won't happen at all this year that I would like to see is like a tease of the next Spider-Man game, the sequel to what's going to happen, what happened with Miles
mm.
and all that stuff. Because that whole thing is like the Spider-Man movie we never got, because it's so good and like the next portion of the story is going to be even better. So I just
Yeah.
think it's cool.
I think, dude, VR2 for PlayStation is like long overdue
Oh
because
yeah,
like hardware wise, every other company has released multiple versions and they're considerably better too.
yeah,
Whereas PlayStation is still running off the same technology that they like
yeah,
basically what they came up with. They haven't even like upgraded like
yeah.
the hardware or the software at all. It's just been like, here's like the thing that we had, which is
Yep.
good. Like even when I played it, I don't know, like a year ago when I was
Yep.
at your place, it's not bad, but, like, when I've also played, like, a brand new, like, was it, like, HTC Vive?
Yeah, they're
Um,
so good.
or the
Yeah,
yeah, and it's like, "Oh, this is, like, really what we
yeah,
want." So, I would be happy to, and now that they even, like, have a console that's, like, 5 how many times more powerful is the PS5 than the PS4 Pro?
oh yeah,
So, they have the hardware to do it and the technology. It just would make sense that it's time for the
yeah,
next, like, headset iteration that plays better and it yeah, so
and
I
consumer
think
friendly
that's great.
too. Like you're not gonna be
Yeah.
$1,000 deep in this thing, so that's what's what's
Yeah.
nice about it too, and I'm sure why they always want to be consumer friendly to whatever they're selling. So yeah, definitely that would
What
be like that's kind of my wish list for E3 that I think will happen, that I think they're going to actually talk about. But like my
Mhm.
far-fetched part of that is like I hope it gets released this fall, and I just don't think that's going to happen. I think maybe like early next year after Christmas type of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
I I would imagine that it's not like Sony would like to do that, but everyone's manufacturing restrictions are so bad right now that
Yeah.
they're just playing catch up to even just get PS5s into people's hands. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure that like if they could bust out 5,000 PS5s a day, they would, but they just can't because of whatever restrictions they're under globally. And like
Yeah.
even like postal services just getting it over here. So I think they're probably more concerned about that. But oh, I did have a question for you. Sorry. So I
Okay,
bet
go
they're
ahead.
concerned about that. But my question to you is, like, as a consumer who I know that will buy the next one, what price point do you want to see the next PSVR headset out? Like all in, like for the headset and like even if it wasn't for like oh yeah, like I'm sorry, the headset and the PS5
The
Pro
controllers
headphones.
and the
Yeah,
controllers and
control it,
stuff.
like everything, like just like a here's the set. You have everything besides the games.
I'd be happy with $500. I don't think it's going to be more than their top console, because it's an
Yeah.
accessory. So I'd be happy with that. I would probably pay 600 if it's that good, just because everything else is $1,000. So I'm going to buy it either way, probably. You know, as long as it's not outlandish above all these other ones. But like I think about 600, 5 to 600 is going to be their thing with everything included.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm just kind of looking at all these like the ones that are at the top of the food chain. Yeah, I mean the best one, the I think the Valve is 1,000, and then the brand new HTC Vive is 700. So if they could get below seven at like like $500 or $600, and dude, even if they were just basically breaking even on it, it would seem like if you could just get more users into it and
Publishers.
yeah,
Yeah.
publishers, you could just dominate that market. And because
Oh, yeah.
not everyone has a computer that will play like really
Yeah.
good VR games, but like
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of kids are going to have PS5s in the next year.
Right. Exactly. And that's why they have to make it affordable, because that's their direct consumer, the kids into like up to like, 30 really. I mean, right now, because a lot of guys just graduate over to PC games.
True.
It, and a lot of people don't, but I think just the casual gamer consumer is going to want it to be in that price range. I don't think they'll go over that.
Yeah, I mean, even if it wasn't the most, technical headset, like, even if they could just make, like a really, really nice upgraded one for, like, 450, like, $500, I think that's, like, a price point where people would be like, "Oh, $500, like, that's a little steep," but if it plays really good and it integrates to where you can just take it out of the box and it syncs up to PS5 immediately, you put it on and it works, like,
Right.
that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's my biggest thing. If it's got wires, I'm not buying it. I'll tell you that. Like, I'm good.
No.
I'm not gonna do this wire game anymore. I don't play it enough. I don't have it. Like, it's not convenient to set up like easily in any place I've lived. I've had it in 3 different places now. So it's never been a convenient setup. So I'm just not gonna buy it unless it's wireless, and which they've already said it's going to be. So that's fine.
Yeah, I think the easy use thing, like definitely they need to upgrade where you basically turn your console on, you turn the
Yeah.
headset on and make sure it's charged,
Yep.
and you just put it on and it works.
Just throw it on and get going. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because the whole setup process, like if you have to like calibrate sensors and there's wires and it's hot.
Oh, yeah, and you saw how I had to do it every time, and, in the room, and like, okay, it's gotta be in
Mhm.
this little area too, you gotta stand and not pull on the wire too much and all that, or you'll knock the whole PlayStation off the
Yeah,
shelf,
that's got to
the
go
whole
away.
thing, so yeah, for sure, and it will. I have no doubt that it will, so, yeah, but yeah, I think that's good conversation for, because that's gonna be next week and all that, so, I don't think it's gonna should blow my socks off, but I think that it'll be fun to watch, just something. It's kind of the kickoff of the Summer Game Fest, type of thing they've been doing, so
Yes, sir. I'm excited.
yep. Yep. So anyway, I think kind of the last thing I want to talk about is so next week, on Sunday, me and Aaron are going to play in a Pokemon tournament, Pokemon card tournament. So yesterday we were building decks and stuff like that. And so this is a Chili Rain pre-release party. So it actually comes out like the 15th. But on the 13th, they're having all the pre-release packs, and so me and Aaron were able to get in with our local comic shop and pre-order our pre-release set. And so, like, you're gonna sit down and play with those pre-release cards
Oh,
in the tournament. So it's going to be kind of even playing field for a lot of people, which will be cool. If you're not deck building it, I mean, there's a ton of dudes, but for like me walking into the shop, I might actually be competitive because I know how to play the game. Not having 15 GX cards in my in my deck. It's like, so anyway. But yeah, we played last night and it was super fun. Aaron wiped the table with all of us with whatever deck he played with. So like, I just think he's the strategy guy when it comes to those cards and stuff, especially in my circle. So anyway, it was fun though.
oh, too bad I'm not closer, man. I'd have to.
Oh, he wants to play you. He wants to play you when we come down after that. So
I'd have to take him out because yeah, he may be the strategy person around you guys right now, but I don't know if that would be the case if we.
yeah, I do want to see you guys play each other. We might even Twitch that. So look out for that because we might even put that on Twitch. That's another thing is we've started streaming on Twitch, and this show is eventually going to be on Twitch when we all get kind of in the mode of it together. So look out for that. But we may have to. That might be a Twitch thing we have to do. Is you versus Aaron in Pokemon?
Yeah, we might have to do some. Yeah, we might have to do a little best of 5 series or
Camera
something.
setup.
Yeah, and just play because
Yeah.
I'm sure like Aaron is very strategic but I would like to verse him because
Oh
I
yeah.
play all those games. I play every strategy game that he plays as well, but we've never really like squared off
Mhm.
against each other. Um,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
what I like about that is since they're doing the pre-release, it's nice that because so let me get that straight. How it works is do you buy like or are you given a certain number of packs and then do you open the packs there and then you take the cards and play with them like type deal or
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna go. Or it's either that or gonna be the pre-release theme decks for
Theme
that
decks.
because you have the theme decks. So it might. I'm not 100% how it works, but they told us we're gonna not be playing with most of our own cards.
Yeah.
So like they were like, yeah, you don't have to have a pre-built deck, even though if you want to bring it, you can play it with other people. And Aaron's got a psychic deck that he wiped the table with yesterday every game, and then they built me an electric deck. We all worked together to build this electric deck that I'm running that I need some tweaking and stuff. But like it was funny because Tino, my other friend who played with us, he was like, oh, I'll give this electric deck a try versus one of the decks that he built that Aaron was playing with. Aaron beat him. Tino's like, this deck sucks, da 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 da. And Aaron's like, okay, let's switch. I'm gonna play this deck, and you're gonna play your deck that you're good with. And Aaron just wiped him like in like 4 turns. It was done. It was like I can't do this. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So anyway, it was fun, and it'll be interesting to see how he does in this tournament too, if he can walk away with it because he's going
That'd be
into a
cool.
bunch of people, and it's going to be really even playing field too. So that's going to be fun, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. So like strategy games for me is I actually don't enjoy deck building at all.
Yeah,
Like I like taking the top because there's normally whenever like whether it's Hearthstone
yeah,
or um like there's other games like auto battlers like team fight tactics. Yeah, team fight tactics. There's basically comps or like the best or just like strategies that these the professionals have figured out like that are basically top tier and I like to learn a system or a bunch of systems like let's say 3 because let's say if you like can bring different decks to the thing like having a couple decks learning it very well and then to be able to perfect how to play
yeah,
it and strategically play that's what I like. So the like building a deck and seeing what's good like I would be fine with that with you guys but in reality I like to just learn how to play it
yeah,
perfectly. So if I ever went into like a tournament, that's actually a cool way to do it because I could take that deck that's already built. Like, let's say you guys have to play with
right,
pre-built decks, which I think is a good way to play because it is
yeah,
even. And then everyone plays with a pre-built deck, and then just learning how to play that deck the best way possible is really fun to
yeah,
me. But I haven't really been into like me like figuring out like a strategy to build like a deck because the problem is I guarantee you there's like the professionals or whoever um have been doing this or that, are just they just thought about it longer and or they're better
Yeah.
at it. So I normally just take their decks and then perfect
Yeah,
how to
me and
play them.
Aaron are walking in at a good year of really being into this and playing the game, and these other dudes have been doing it since they were 12, like, it's just, you go into
Yeah.
those places and it's hard to compete sometimes, but yeah. I might do a little something on the socials with us being there, so, we'll see. I'm gonna talk to the people, but, um, we're gonna see how that goes. It'll be fun. We're a small town, and I think they've got, like, 10 or 20 people signed up, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun for us coming in, being the newbies. They're gonna be like, "Who are these guys?"
Yeah. That'd be great if you could, obviously get some cards pre-released
Yeah.
too. Because I've been looking for Chilling Reign online. Like I've been trying to buy some packs, and they're sold out like
Yeah, nice
everywhere.
thing about living in a small
Um,
town and making friends with the shop owner. He's just
I
like,
know.
"Dude, I'll hook you up." He's like, "We're not even supposed to pre-order these for you, but, like," he's like, "I got you. Don't worry about it." Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so nice. I mean, for instance, like I had a box of Shining Fates
Oh,
come in
nice.
today, and I haven't got one pack of Shining Fates
Wow.
since the release. And like literally just now, I got the Gold
Oh,
Bat Shiny
nice.
VMAX box. So it's got like the full art gold Crobat, and then the just like the GX Crobat, and then like
Yeah.
I don't know, 10 packs in it. But it literally took
Months
me
to
like
get it.
just months because Austin obviously is just there's a ton of people, it's populated. The everything sells out so quickly, and even online because Pokemon's become so popular. If I don't pre-order like when the pre-order starts, like months in advance, I just won't get it. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, we actually just got Shining Fate Star of Town here too in Walmart and things like that. And so I went up to Walmart one day and I was getting some medicine for my son because he had a stomach thing. And so I was like, I went back to the toy section while I was waiting for the medicine. And I was like, and I saw 15 boxes of the 4-pack Shining Fates sitting there. And I was like, okay, I'm going to come back this evening and get him after I put the kids to bed because I had to get his medicine home to him and I just couldn't do it right then. And I went back that night and it was all gone. Every
Yeah, they're
box
gone.
was somebody just came and swooped it off the thing. But what they didn't see is the other Pokemon card area my store has. And me and Aaron probably bought a total of like, I bought probably 30 packs of battle styles and he probably got 10 or 15. And then he was there one day and picked up the Elite Trainer box, the Eevee one,
Oh,
from
nice.
Shining Fates that had 10 packs in it and then all that other stuff. So it was cool. I got to open some Shining Fates. I didn't get anything good, but yeah, we've been seeing a little more is the point of that rant. We've seen a
Yeah.
little more.
That's just cool. It's just because like battle styles, I was able to get I have a sealed booster box and
Woo-hoo.
a trainer elite trainer box in my closet right now. But I haven't.
Need to stream open that on Twitch, bro.
Yeah, the problem is I try to get one to open now and then one to open later. So I might do the elite trainer box or like the booster box, but I want to keep like one of sealed of everything because
Yeah, we need to do one night. What we need to do is just do like a Twitch hangout where like you open packs and like I'm just chilling with
yeah,
you, and like we stream it on both of our like the podcast and your personal
yeah,
channel.
that'd be
You know,
fun.
that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
fun.
I just have to I'm so scared of opening like packs right now and then like 5 years like later I'm like, "Oh no, I should have kept some sealed ones and it would have been so much
Oh yeah,
because after a couple of years it's even more hype to open some of those packs. So I want to open some
I
now
feel
to
that.
add to my collection. But I gotta
It's an
yeah, I
investment.
gotta wait so that like, just even in the future, just to have some fun. Oh, these are 5 years old that like there could be a Charizard in here. Like it's just fun to wait a little bit. It just makes it more hype.
Yeah,
I've actually been
me and Aaron are me and Aaron always joke that eventually currency is going to fade out and it's just going to be Pokemon cards. We're just going to be like, I'll give you 2 Charizard for your house.
yeah, it's gonna be that in cryptocurrency. We're just gonna be
Right.
doing. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I've got some stuff behind me right now. I've got some hidden
I
fades
see
and
him.
Champion's Path I'm holding on to. I'm like, nope, not opening them for a long time.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Champions Path, like multiple nice boxes that are sealed in my closet too. And I've been every time I open them up, I just can't look at them because I'm just like, oh, I want to open these up.
Yeah.
I got a Vivid Voltage
Yep.
booster box that's sitting in there. Like, woo, it's
Nice.
hard, but
Yeah.
I've been opening some Yu-Gi-Oh packs too. That's been my new little thing. Is I'm getting quite a number of you because after I saw like I pulled a couple multi-$100 cards from them, and it's just like a different art style, and so that's been kind of fun too.
That's cool. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. My friend Tino bought a binder off of some kid in town was like looking to sell, and he's like, "I'll buy your binder," and it had like tons of Yu-Gi-Oh cards in it too. And so there was some super like apparently rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards in that binder he had. He was like, "Sweet." So it's funny. It's funny how our childhoods are just reliving themselves at this point because it's like Pokemon cards are back, Yu-Gi-Oh's back, Beyblade's back. Like all this stuff that we grew up on is like there's a new Digimon card game that's always going to be the outlier that nobody's going to like. You
Yep.
know, it's just funny. It's like this cycle of life we go through.
I think what's happened is like all the people that grew up on all these collectibles. Number one is like just collectibles and just like nerd and like superhero stuff has gotten like socially acceptable, where
Yeah,
like you don't have to be like the
right.
fringe like mom's basement type person, but also all the people that grew up on that are the ones who have all the money now, or all of these like guys like you and me who are in their like 30s and like who are starting tech companies and have like massive like or just social media in general, who have like social media followings, and they're like, and the other people watching these videos, which is like you and me, are into that type of stuff, so they're
Right.
doing they're doing that and making money off it too, and growing like their channels and their social medias and just everything. So all that combined is these things are getting like they're coming back in popularity, instead of like where it used to be. Yeah, they were popular and there was a market for them, but it was all the fringe
Yeah.
guys that were into it. But now it's like complete. Who is the YouTuber?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul just fought
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, and he had $1 million Charizard Beckett 10
I thought it was
on his chain.
250,000. I think it was the first
That's
edition.
that's $1 million card.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, because that's a Beckett
Wild.
Black Label 10
Oh,
Charizard.
okay.
Yeah, it was valued at $1 million, and he had it on a chain around his neck when he was about to fight the best boxer had ever like boxed in the world, and he's a YouTuber. So I think that's like the whole point is this guy's a YouTuber. He just fought the best boxer in the world, and instead of having like chains all the older guys are just making fun of him so much, and it's so funny because all of us like the
Yeah.
20,
Like,
30
that's
year olds of the
awesome.
world are loved it, and are also like the ones that are investing in crypto, and like it's just like the changing of the guard, I think, where it's $1 million Pokemon card. Who would have thought?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah.
I think a lot of good things coming down the pike for this year, movie wise, just to kind of wrap up. Video game wise, I think we're gonna have some good stuff, if not E3. It's gonna be fun to see how the rest of it plays out, with the Marvel universe that we've started talking about, and then going
Mhm.
forward with some of these consoles and stuff.
But
Fortnite.
it's a good year when we have too much to talk about
Right.
instead of not enough. Or like there's games that I want to play or movies I want to watch or shows, but I don't have enough time in the
Yeah,
week to do all the things I want to. And that's a good problem to have. So we're
exactly.
definitely in a golden age of entertainment and
Getting back,
gaming.
yeah, getting back to things too. Yeah. So anyway, if you want to check us out, hit us up on socials. We got all the links in the bio of this podcast. So check that out. And then we're starting to stream on Twitch some more. So like we want to do more Twitch. We're doing Fortnite right now. Me and Aaron have been doing a couple Fortnite rounds, but we want to do some like hangouts and stuff, like open Pokemon cards or whatever. So if you go follow us over there, it's Beyond Average Nerds. I changed all the branding on our Twitch this weekend. So like go follow us over there. We're going to be doing some stuff. Weston, you've got your Twitch as well. You want to shout that out?
Yeah, my Twitch is just Street Fox PK.
Yeah. So
Um,
follow him on there.
yeah, and but yeah, you can follow me too. We'll probably just do. Honestly, I haven't really revive. I would have to kind of revive that channel because I was doing it quite a bit last year, but we'll probably just stick with the podcast channel for now, unless I just decide to revive it. But it'd be
Yeah.
nice just to do some just chatting stuff and talk to the community and
Yeah,
kind of
for
see what
sure.
we want to do next on the podcast channel.
Yeah, so hit us up, follow us over there, and then you'll get notifications of when we go live. Like me and Aaron have been doing like Fridays sometimes, and like I said, I want to play everything, a little bit of everything, like even like mobile games that come out. It's so easy to stream to this Twitch app and just hang out on your phone for a little bit. So just like I said, do some more audience engagement type stuff. And like I said, eventually this show is going to be on there too. So coolio. All right, dude. Well, I think that wraps it for this week, and you'll be gone next week, but I'll have Aaron back here with me. So until then.
What does Aaron always say? Until then, see you next time. If I see you,
until next time.
I don't know.
See you next time.
Until next time, see you next time.
Thanks again for listening. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at ban_cast. Also, you can find us on Instagram at Beyond Average Nerds. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And tune in every other Friday for new episodes.